Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 10, episode 4, and today we've got a top of the table clash. It's first v fourth, it's Torquay v Bristol City. Can we keep our place at the top of the league, or are we going to be dragged back towards the chasing pack? One thing that may cause us to be dragged back is the fact that we've got a few injuries for this one. We've got Hall, Fibrosema and Broja all out, and there's some other players tired after international duty as well. So let's go and have a look at the schedule since you were last with me. You joined me for that 3-0 defeat against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. In truth, it could have been 10 or 15. We followed it up with the end of our disappointing run, a 5-4 defeat at Norwich nonetheless. We were 4-3 up in this one and still threw it away. Unfortunately, our defence went back to last season for one game only. But since then, we've been really solid at the back. We haven't conceded a goal at home since the Preston one, where we won 4-1 to get back to winning ways. We were 4-0 up and conceded a consolation, but we were delighted with the performance. And then into October, we had a 3-1 win at Hull. They had a red card, which did help us along, after going 1-0 up and a quick equaliser from Adam Lewis. Rutherford and Broja, the front two, got a goal apiece, and that saw us the 3 points comfortably. We then won 1-0 at home to my beloved Luton Town. Armando Broja scoring a goal. They didn't really look like scoring Luton. They were just trying to hang on for dear life. It's a little bit disappointing to see the side I love play that way, but we did manage to get the 3 points, and as long as they stay up, we'll be happy too. Just a few days later, we won 2-1 away at Charlton. A really good performance with an Adam Lewis winner right at the death. Before a 2-0 defeat away to Sheffield United. The third game in a week, we'd just run out of steam, and Sheffield United, if you remember from the table, are sitting 3 points behind us in second. But we do come into this with back-to-back home wins before the international break. Nottingham Forest 3-0 at home, Broja, Fraser and Duncan all with goals in the last 15 minutes to ensure we got the result our performance deserved. And then 4-0 at home to struggling QPR, Lee Rutherford with a hat-trick, and Kaysan Burbai finally came to the party. He got his first goal in the second minute. But we've had a 2-week break now. We're going away to a top side. Last time we did that, we lost at Sheffield United, and we're a few players short this time as well. So if we go to the medical centre, you can see as well as having the 3 players out we mentioned before, we're also missing John Gerrard. He's a key player for us as well on the bench, as well as Ian McCann, who isn't a particularly important player, but he can be a good backup on the bench, particularly as he's a player we own permanently, and obviously there's a limit on loan players in the squad. There's also a requirement for 1 homegrown player at the club, and you may notice with Gerrard and Fibrosema out, that causes us quite a problem. So we've promoted one of the 18s, and his name's at the top here actually, Miles McCann Piggott. He came through in last year's youth intake, wasn't particularly great, but he's training well and doing okay, and he's the best of a bad bunch to put on the bench. I guess at least we play a formation that suits his position perfectly, so if he is called upon, I'm sure he'll do okay, though we probably won't bring him on unless we're 3 or 4 goals up. But before we get into this game, let's just go to the competition screen, just to remind you of where both sides stand going into today. We're top of the league on 38 points, averaging over 2 points a game, which is brilliant. Bristol City are 7 points behind in 4th, but obviously that gap goes down to 4 if they win today, and we'll suddenly start to be a little bit nervy at the top, as there won't be much of a gap to the playoffs. Most importantly, there's a 9-point gap down to 7th, and even more importantly than that, there's a huge gap down to 22nd. That's a 26-point gap already. To almost be safe well before the halfway stage is absolutely brilliant on our part, and this new stadium will hopefully allow us to spend a bit in January, as we're not hemorrhaging money through the season as we have before. But let's get into this game against Bristol City. We have struggled a little bit on the road at times. We've scored a lot of goals, but defensively we've been weak occasionally. Bristol City come into this 5 games unbeaten, although 4 of those were draws, and we've got 4 wins out of 5, with our defeat coming away to second place side Sheffield United. Bristol City aren't far behind, so they'll want to make us miserable for the week, and they've still got Nazran Ledger up front, the man we tried to sign when they were in League One. A brilliant turnaround for their club. Stuart Parnaby's doing a brilliant job, but let's look at our lineup for today and focus on how we're going to get the 3 points. So Armando Broja has got an injury, but it's just a broken arm, so he's playing with protective equipment. He's been our best player on the pitch this season, and we have to keep him in the lineup as a result. We've got Alex Bass in goal, Nico Williams and Adam Dillon are the fullbacks with Reece Williams and Trevor Chalobah in the middle. We've got Rowan McDonald in a holding role, Cohen and Lewis on the wings, and then Purby behind Broja and Rutherford up front with plenty of players on the bench. So you can see where the problem comes. We've actually had to put Lee Milne on the bench today, and that's just because we've got 3 loan players, all of whom are better than half of the bench, but they can't get on because we've already got 5 in the squad. So I've tried to balance it the best I can. I've gone for David Fraser on the bench ahead of Marcus Davis. The reason for that is because we've got a centre-half option on the bench, and Chalobah can play in either full-back position if need be. It's not ideal, but it's better than the cover we've got on the wings, where we don't really have anything at all. So let's get into this game, see if we can get a result. This one would be absolutely crucial, and I'd snap your arm off for a draw if you offered it to me now. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Bristol City. Nasrin Ledger spearheads their attack. I say about Miles McCann-Piggott coming on. I've got to find a shorter name for him, by the way. Give me your suggestions down in the comments. If he does get to come on, it's because we'll be 3 or 4 goals up, and in that case I'll be absolutely delighted, and so should he. We're going to tell the lads to pick up where they left off. A 7-0 aggregate in the last 2 home games, and hopefully we can continue that today, even though we're on the road to a much better side. So let's get into the first half. Apologies for smacking the space bar again. It should be Bristol City with the kick-off as we get into the first period. It's done with a long ball down the right. Dylan heads away, and can we build our first attack early on? Purby to Rutherford. Normally the highlights ended by now, so that means we may create a chance. Rutherford's in the middle, but it's nodded away, and Ledger can clear for Bristol City. The highlight ends, but the first dangerous ball into the box came from the away side Torquay. It's a corner on the left for Torquay. Nico Williams delivers. We're at the back post. It's bouncing around in there. I think it was Cohen with the shot, but it's been cleared away and the highlight ended. But now it's Bristol City with a free header in there. It's bouncing around on the line. I'm not quite sure how it stayed out, but we've managed to hack it away with Adam Lewis. 15 minutes gone. It's a game of set pieces so far. Chalobah gets on the end of this one, and we lead 1-0 away from home. Nico Williams with a brilliant long throw. The keeper made an awful decision to come, and he allowed Trevor Chalobah to rise above him and nodded into the empty net. It's Roberts with a free kick for Bristol City though. Jimmy Dunn heads it into the side netting, and with 15 minutes gone, all the highlights have been set pieces, and luckily we've the only team that managed to score one. It's Brownhill at the back for Bristol City. Nicks with the long ball away. He finds Roberts on the left hand side. Charging at the back 4 again. It's the first open play highlight, and Ledger's created a shot on target from it. It's straight into the keeper's arms though, and we managed to survive at 1-0. It's a Bristol City free kick again. Dangerous position. Clark heads it just wide. They've had 8 shots now and only got 1 on target. We've scored from our only one in the match. We should demand more from the lads, but they're doing quite well to be ahead, so we'll just leave it for now and see how they get on. It's Reece Williams with a free kick on halfway. He finds Rowan McDonald who plays the 1-2. Purby out to the left. It's Adam Lewis now. Tour in the middle. Broja's at the back post. Nods it down, but he can't direct it and it's wide of the post. It just dribbles across the line for a Bristol City goal kick. It's Adam Lewis with his own free kick now though. It goes just over via the bar. A brilliant effort from him. He's already scored 2 free kicks this season, but a third one wasn't to be. Purby heads away a throw in from Bristol City. It's Brownhill to the edge to McStay. The right back's been drawn out and now they've got a man over. Coulson puts it in and Nico Williams has been absolutely done there. He chased the ball rather than holding his position, and as a result we go in level and Bristol City have got 5 minutes to get the lead. It's a throw in at right back for Bristol City. Gorman down the line for Palmer. Now Nicks coming inside. There's too many options there. Ledger's one of them. Bristol City dominating this game. Chalobah heads away as far as McStay. Out to Coulson, the goal scorer. The overlapping left back, he's going again. He's just crept into the box. There was no one following him, but we've managed to see off the run this time. Palmer goes for an ambitious effort from 25, and luckily it was dribbling into the arms of Bass. Cohen on the right hand side. End-to-end game at the end of the half. Cohen's got it again. He switches it for Lewis. No overlapping this time, but he delivers. Cohen's there and heads over the bar, and on the stroke of half time it remains 1-1, and we've got to give a team talk to these lads. It does remain level at the break, a game of set pieces really. Bristol City have been the better side, so we're going to go and talk to the lads. I'm going to ignore our assistant's advice today and see how it works out. I'm telling them I'm not happy with their performance because I really think they can do better. Broja with the kick-off in a second to Purby, and Reece Williams just hoofs it long downfield. Not the best start to the half, we've conceded possession immediately. It's Coulson on the left to Roberts. We still haven't seen the end of the highlight. Maybe Bristol City will create a chance from here, or hopefully give us the ball back back from the high press and we'll be able to get a chance of our own. It's Clark at the back with a long ball. It's gone over to Reece Williams who heads it, but only as far as Nix. He's into the edge of the box. Ledger's in. Great save by Alex Bass. He continues to be dependable at the back and it remains 1-1 despite a great chance for the home side. It's a throw in at right back for Bristol City. Down the line for Palmer, who's caused us a few problems, and Nix is out there as well. Palmer seems to be drifting over to the right, and it gives us a problem with two men out there, but McStay's got it in the middle now. He finds Roberts onto the edge of the box, goes for the shot into the bottom corner, and Bass makes a good save down to his left. He holds the ball as well, and it remains 1-1 coming up to the hour mark. It's Adam Lewis with a free kick 30 yards out, just wide of the post. He had the keeper scrambling, down to his right hand side. He couldn't quite make it, but luckily for him, the ball went wide. McStay's in the box, Ledger tries to get on the flick on, but Alex Bass comes and claims well. Really brave goalkeeping that. I'm sure he'll take it out immediately, as we haven't seen any signal to the end of the highlight. His long kick goes as far as done, and Rutherford's taken it off him, beats him round the corner, and the keeper makes a good save. We've got warnings to close people down, so we're going to go and do that, and we'll tell Broger to ease off tackles as well, though he'll probably be off in a few minutes. Let's see it out to the 70th minute and then we'll make a change or two. There's not been another highlight, but we'll see out this one at left back. It's Adam Dillon with the long throw, straight to Nix, the right winger for Bristol City. He finds McStay, out to Coulson, the goal scoring left back. He finds Roberts down the line. We really need to stop these chances flowing as Nix heads it straight into the arm of Bass. We're really delighted with that, and now we will go and make those changes. We've got Purby in the number 10 role. He's not had the best of games today, so we're going to bring Allingham on. They're both fantastic players, so either one can make a difference. Bobby Duncan's going to come on as well. He's going to replace Broger, who's looking a little tired out there, obviously playing through his injury, and he's on a yellow card as well. So we're going to switch Rutherford over to the pressing forward role, and then Duncan will go to the advanced forward. Hopefully one of them can nick a winner. We've got one sub left, which we'll probably make shortly, but I'm just going to see out another 5 minutes before deciding who the final one will be. Just 10 to go. There's no more highlights, but we have got a Bristol City corner now. Nix is in there, heads it wide, and we're going to make our final change. Adam Lewis has had a rare bad game on the left wing, so David Fraser's going to come on. Hopefully he can make a bit of a difference on the wing, creating for his two former Liverpool teammates up front. It's Bristol City with a throw on the right again. We may need to see this game out in a minute. If we survive this highlight, we will change our tactics slightly, but we've got to do that first with Coulson on the left. Mayer gets on the end of it, it's straight into the arms of Bass, and he gratefully clutches it to his chest. Let's make some tactical tweaks. We're going to switch our mentality to standard. We're going to time waste all the time. We said before the match a draw's a brilliant result. We're going to hold our shape and slow the pace down, and just see if that's enough to see out the game. Let's press play and get through the last 5 minutes. Hopefully we can nick a point on the road. It'd be a brilliant result based on the other results today as well. And now we've got a chance to nick it with a long throw. Nico Williams with the ball in and it's headed away. Tries to deliver again, it's blocked. And now Bristol City have a counter. Why is it 3-on-2? Awful defending at the back. Maja shoots, it's just wide of the post. And we're going to drop to cautious now as well. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. And the lads are ignoring the set piece tactics again. It's Clark at the back for Bristol City. Goes all the way back to his keeper who clears long. Reece Williams with the header to Duncan though. And now we've got Fraser the sub on the left. Allingham back out to him again. And now there's an overlap from Dillon. He's got to find a delivery here, but he doesn't. He turns back to Fraser. And now Allingham tries to create another chance. Fraser delivers into the box. It's a terrible delivery and goes past everyone out for a goal kick. That's why he doesn't start every week. Adam Lewis will start the next game. A long ball forward by Bristol City's keeper and it falls down to McStay. Now Palmer. McStay again. They're playing a 1-2. Brownhill gets it out wide to Coulson and his goal scoring heroics don't continue as it's cleared long down the right. Rutherford's got a man in the middle. Duncan's unmarked, but they've just got back in time and the cross is hacked away. Dillon finds Fraser on the left. A frantic end to the game. Can we nick a winner? It'd be the perfect time, but Dillon's cross is blocked and it looks like that's going to be it. Reece Williams tries to hoof it forward, but with just 10 seconds to go, I think we're going to have to see it out for a point and be pleased that the gap hasn't got closer. Is Coulson overlapping though? It's the last chance. Maja shoots. I've spoken too soon. 5 seconds past the allotted added time and we've managed to concede a winner, and Reece Williams has lost his man again. His rating drops to 5.8 and we have lost it at the death at Bristol City and our defensive woes continue on the road. A long ball forward, but it's not going to matter now. We're not even going to bother changing the mentality. The whistle goes just 5 seconds after the kick-off and we've thrown the game away as Reece Williams has had an absolute shocker, which we have to accept concept is very rare for him. Let's go and talk to the lads. We're going to tell them we're disappointed, just as Stuart Jelling recommends. The lads weren't absolutely terrible, but Bristol City deserved to win the game. We'll go and see what the media have said about it, and then we'll plan when we're going to be back for the next episode. We've managed to lose top spot in the 94th minute there. We won't mention the fact we were 5 seconds past the allotted time. The attack started well before then, so they were within their right to complete it. We'll deal with the press conference in a minute. We've slammed the team, and rightly so, and it means we drop down to second, though we've got a slightly easier away game in midweek against Reading, where we really need to get back to winning ways. Then we're back to home comforts next weekend, and hopefully we'll be able to do well there. So Bristol City closed the gap to 4 points, as to Blackburn, and Sheffield United overtake us. I'll be pretty surprised if they don't win the league this year. Crystal Palace were relegated last year. Owen Jack's just a rotation option there these days, and they lost 3-0 on the road to Millwall, so maybe they should think about getting him back in. So the few injuries have caused us a bit of a problem, but I think the main thing we can take from the last month or so, particularly with the problems we've had picking the bench, is that we need to get some of these loan players on permanent deals so we're not restricted in terms of our matchday squad. For the players themselves, they're all fairly decent. It's just I can't pick the best 18 for a match day, and that's obviously a little bit of a concern. So we're still in a good position in the league. We really want to make sure we're in that top 6 this year, as we've been settled in mid-table for a few seasons, and now we've got the additional revenue from the stadium. If we go to the finances page, just look at the state of it now. I know we sold a lot of players, particularly Quirk for 25 million, but it's not been declining quite so much. Only about $1 million a month. It's normally been 1.5 to 2. So it is a little bit better for us, and hopefully that trend will continue, and if we can really start to push up the league, maybe we'll even start to turn a profit. Maybe we'll be looking for cup runs in the future, I'm not quite sure, but we've got to accept we're still a relatively small club, and we've got to spend our money from player sales, developing our facilities rather than the 11. My dream by the end of this save would be to have a Premier League or domestic cup winning team. I really want to win a major trophy with Torquay, whether it's the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League or a European one. I'm really not that fussed, but I'd love to win one and have a core of homegrown players, although losing Richard Quirk is obviously a blow to that plan. But let's finish on the schedule to see when we'll next be back. I want to leave it quite a while because we seem to be having a solid season, and we've got 3 home games in a row in December, so it'll be good to see how we do in those ones. So we'll try and come back in January at some point. Hopefully we'll have some transfer news around there as well. So let's just look at the teams we've got in January and whereabouts they are in the league. So we've got Bradford, Lincoln and Ipswich at the start of the month. Bradford are 17th, Lincoln 20th and Ipswich 21st. So that's not particularly good. And then Brentford and Leeds. Brentford are up in 6th and Leeds are down in 19th. So providing that Brentford are still up there, that might well be the game. But I'll show you one game from January as well as some transfer news to go with it. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything you think we can do away from home. We haven't actually kept a clean sheet on the road yet this year, despite generally conceding less goals. So let me know if you have any ideas of how we could change it. Obviously we've tried various formations that haven't worked, particularly in that Liverpool Carabao Cup tie, but it seems that we've still got a leaky defence on the road, despite being completely solid at home this year. Although it's unlikely we're going to be able to sign the star ones permanently, let me know which of the loan signings you think it's best we keep, or which ones you don't think we should sign is probably easier, as most of them are good enough players for us. We've got a problem in midweek with Carl Cohen. He's ineligible because he's on loan from Reading, and with them 22nd in the Championship, I have no idea why they're loaning him out to us. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay, and then our Journeyman series The Head Coach, where we work under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts. We had a huge dramatic climax to season 9 in that one yesterday, so if you haven't seen it, go back and check out the episode. It really was a cracking finish to the season. There's been plenty of twists and turns in that story over the last few years. And also keep an eye out on the channel for weekly content from other sports games too. At the moment it's the turn of the brand new Snooker 19 game. We had 3 episodes over the bank holiday weekend as I was enjoying the game and had recorded so much content. We'll be going back down to our normal one a week on a Friday from now, so episode 4 will be out tomorrow. And then there'll be a new episode from that series every Friday at 4:30 until the release of Cricket 19 at the start of June. So if you are a fan of other sports games, please do go along and check it out. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on another type of series. It's a career mode one as always. It's the type of series I always edge towards, as you can probably work out from the content on my channel. I love long-term careers and building up a player or team. I much prefer that to the short-term challenges. changes. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it as always, and we'll see you next time for some January transfer news as well as another big game from the Championship.